Pana haja kwa jamii nzima kuungana na kujadili masuala yanayoonekana kuleta utata nchini ili kuepusha ghasia na taharuki miongoni mwa Wakenya. Ni swala ambalo mashirika yasiyo ya kiserikali yamevalia juga na kuja pamoja ili kuandaa mazungumzo yatakayotoa suluhu kwa baadhi ya vitu vinavyopelekea kukosekana kwa utangamano pamoja na amani. William Janak ni mwenyekiti wa muungano wa wanahabari nchini KCA ambao ni mshirika katika shughuli hii.
We are launching the Kisumu Crisis Communication Chapter, which is a project which we are implementing with support from Deutsche Welle Academy, which is a German organization that we are partnering with. And the Deutsche Welle Academy supports a lot of media development, community dialogue. And in this sense here, we are talking about Crisis Communication Kisumu chapter that is going to initiate a lot of community dialogue. And this dialogue will be inclusive dialogue, where all communities that live within Kisumu are brought together, all the races, because Kisumu is a multiracial city. So we expect different races, the different religions, the different communities that live in Western Kenya and who live in Kisumu, and other Kenyans who are here to participate in the dialogue so that Kisumu remains a prosperous, a peaceful city where people can work together under cohesion. As Kenya Correspondent Association, we are determined to help in enhancing community conversations. And we have a team in Kisumu, a team of volunteers from the community who are members of the Crisis Communication Chapter. We have a team of 8 people. And this project is being implemented in Kibera in Nairobi and also here in Kisumu, that is in Kenya. But the project is also being implemented in Zambia, in Mongolia, in Moldova.
Mwenyekiti huyo amesema kuwa lengo la misururu ya mikutano hii ni kuhakikisha wadau wote wanashirikiana kusuluhisha kwa pamoja changamoto za kidharura zinazoikumba nchi pamoja na wananchi wake.
It's a pilot project across the country, across the globe. And what we are trying to say is that crisis communication is about communicating around emergencies. What are the emergencies in this region? The emergency, for example, is the issue of conflict. When there's a conflict, especially after the elections, then an emergency can occur where people do not work together, people can refuse to buy from each other's shops, people can refuse to live in the same estates, but then other emergencies are emerging. For example, we have the emergency of drought, which has emerged and is affecting many people. We have the emergency of the fish that is dying in Lake Victoria. So we expect that the communities that are here and the crisis communication will go on to engage the different community groups that are here to ensure that dialogue goes down to the grassroots. We as KCA will continue to support them and ensure that we also develop material and join them in the dialogue sessions, in the bunges that they have mentioned, in the community groups and also women groups and so on. We'll also engage the government. The crisis communication is about engaging all stakeholders. So the government agencies are here, county government, national government, and we'll continue to engage them because then they are the implementers. If we are talking about security, it is them to implement, it's them to, parliament has got to create laws, so we'll also engage the leaders as well.
Anasema pia wanasiasa hawatasazwa kwenye shughuli hii kwani wao mara nyingi huwa mstari wa mbele kwa kuwachochea wananchi bila kujua kuwa ni nchi yao wenyewe wanaharibu.
We will seek to moderate the politicians so that then they do not create environment that can lead to communal conflict, because politics has been the driver. Kenya has systemic problems, which are driven by politics. Some of them are economic, some of them are social. But then when politics comes and driven by the politicians, then it can create disharmony. So our engagement around this will also target the politicians to tell them that they have a responsibility. They cannot lead communities that are divided. They cannot lead communities that are quarreling. They cannot lead communities that are hurting. So we have a responsibility to ensure that even as they engage in their politics, it must be progressive politics, it must be constructive, the one that builds bridges between communities and does not burn the bridges, because now Kenya has become one country. It is a state, it's a nation in the making. So if we do not play our politics the right manner, then we're gonna have a fractured country that cannot move forward, and therefore our politics will never mature.
Ni usemi ambao umeungwa mkono na baraza la wazee kutoka jamii ya Waluo, wakijitenga na uamuzi wa kutafuta haki kwa njia ya maandamano, huku wakisisitiza umuhimu wa kuwa na mazungumzo iwapo kuna shida yoyote.
Crisis communication chapter, I think it is much in order and timely, because we as the elders, we have heard that people are supposed to go for even demonstrations. We had even elections. People have been very quiet. Things have gone mum. But I'm trying to say that the elders are for peace, and therefore I'm requesting that we don't go for any chaos. We go for peace. And this dialogue period, this dialogue forum, I think it is the right one. We better dialogue instead of demonstrating, instead of fighting, instead of warring. And therefore I'm saying that as the elders, which way do we go? We need to have a way forward for our people. We need peace. After elections, we had peace, and I appreciate, and we appreciated, and we thank our people of Kisumu more particularly, the Luos. And we had told the youth not to go rioting. This was actually evidence during the election results. And therefore we are still asking for more peace and more dialogue. It should be dialogue, dialogue, dialogue to bring peace for the communities.
Vuguvugu hili kwa sasa limezindua kamati itakayohusisha wadau wote katika kaunti ya Kisumu, ambako kumekuwa na machafuko ya kila mara, haswa kunapofika wakati wa uchaguzi mkuu. Martin Oguda ni mwenyekiti wa kamati hii.
We believe that the government really, as much as they're doing their bit, but it is very important also to listen to what the people say on ground. It is very, very important that we also bring the community stakeholders on board, because they're the ones who really are part of the whole problem. Therefore, as government is doing their part, it is also very important to remind the communities that they also have a responsibility in this. As much as maybe, for example, violence is within us, then this one will fight against maybe our unity and spurring development together. As much as the government may be talking about unity, but also without the community members also taking responsibility into this, it may not end up being practical. So there is not much laxity per se, but we realize that as much as people are not talking, so many issues are going on undertone. When you walk around these bunges, some information which are not really concrete, which are not really confirmed, are really going down, and we believe that when people start talking and addressing them and getting clear of the right information being shared across board, then this one will harness working together, and will also address those other issues which may lead to disintegrating of these communities.
Akina mama nao wakishabikia hatua hii na kuhoji kuwa kila mara machafuko na ghasia zinapokuwepo, wao wamekuwa wakiathirika pakubwa, na kuahidi kuwa wajumbe wema wa amani pamoja na mazungumzo vijijini.
This launch has come at the right time, because it has come when the communities are retorted, and it's going to help us to move forward and to engage with the people around us, other communities. As a woman, I find it very, very, very good for us, because women are like wind. We have our children are married elsewhere with other tribes, we're also married with the other tribes, and really we must coexist. We must embrace living together with a positive attitude if we talk together.
Mara nyingi wa mama wako na shida na watoto katika vijiji ambao wanavyoishi. Ndio sababu kama tumehusishwa sisi kama wakina mama, tumefurahi kwa sababu tutaenda kuelezea kila mtu, vijana, wazee, watoto na hata wamama zetu, tukiwa mitoni, tukiwa kwenye soko, tukiwa makanisani, tukiwa katika vyama vyetu, na tunaona kweli kila mmoja atapashwa hii habari na kila mtu atapata uwezo wa kuongea na kutoa chenye kiko rohoni mwake.
Kutoka katika jiji la Kisumu, naitwa Dan Ndunde.